Senile is not a nice word to use to describe old people, but somehow when I see this face, I just cannot help myself. Suppose, according to Hadiawang, president for life of the Parti Penunggak and by the way, who would like to die while in office, I hope you get your wish. Happen today also can. But anyway, according to said president for life, Muslims are less involved in corruption than non-Muslims because they have so much faith. They're so amazing. Kembalilah kepada penyelesaian. So he says, while
some people
steal from tabung haji,
some people
steal from Aman Palestine, alright, zakat, watch porn in mosques, and so on so forth.
Most respectable people in the world, we have so much to learn from you.
Anyway, this joker is on a warpath again, trying to enforce his ridiculous Pak Turut ideology, defending the Muslims, saying that people are targeting tabung haji in order to give Muslims a bad name. Do you know that we are special, we are so holy, we are so wonderful? Completely leaving aside the 90 million drama and Claire Newcastle Brown receiving 1.4 million. And by the way, G20 noting that corruption is still a thing despite the fact that Malays who are constitutionally Muslim, they are still corrupt.
Oh, but still so holy and wonderful.
But there's a very big problem with that, which is that this senile old man, this respected leader of the Ummah does not actually represent Islam, and neither does his party. Unless of course you're saying that slandering, making racist threats and assertions, blabbering about eyes like ours, skin like ours, mocking the Sahabat of the Prophet. You know, if all of that for you represent the harakah, then by all means, enjoy your gaslighting. I mean, your perjuangan. But you know, in another sense, it's hard to even imagine that he represents anyone at all. I mean, the man is a full-on elected parliament member, but barely even shows up for parliament.
To the point that you really have to wonder how he's spending all that time. Oh yeah, I guess.
Talking constantly about how allegedly Muslims are superior, better, more holy, more noble, with no proof, no evidence, except his wish to yaya papaya and act like somehow he is special, when the only thing that these people are special for is the fitna that we mentioned earlier. Their ability to play victim and talk about how they are being victimized all the time, screaming about colonization all day and all night, never improving their life, but of course also magically being able to survive despite having teh tarik water, sumbang mahram, and drugs. Wow, I'm sure that you guys are so amazing. I guess you can keep manipulating Dr. Sam to look moderate while you try to play your president for life role. I'm sure that it'll help all these people solve their problem.
On a slightly more serious note though,
if you think about the way that all these people behave, do you see any reason why anybody out there in the world would ever respect them? I mean, I could pretend to respect them. I think that's very easy. Completely shut your ears and go around with a smile. And when people talk about how, oh, religion is so important to them, then pretend that you're listening, not, oh, you're so right, you're so wonderful. As they say, semoga mendapat hidayah. And then you pretend that you received it and then walk away and never talk to that person again. You know what I think about religion? There's this somewhat obscene metaphor out there that says religion is like a you can have one, sure, but you don't go around shaking it at every single person that you see out there. Well, if we take that analogy, this man is going out there shaking things all over the damn city, probably in an effort to earn himself yet another Mercedes while pretending to be the spiritual father of all the B40s of this country, trying to convince them that it doesn't matter. If you're dumb, stay dumb, it's okay, Kencana yo, dummy akhirat. And you know, I see why that appeals to people like these. I mean, it's like the only thing that they've ever known. And they have an intricate social system that makes it so that they inbreed their ideas day in and day out, talk about how they want to become more religious only because they're scared that other people will say that they are not religious enough and then end up just torturing, social engineering and brainwashing them in order that they may return to the flock. And if you think about it, it really is quite sad. I'm not expecting these people to change their minds anytime soon if they actually have minds inside their heads. But I will say that there is a fun quote that I do like, and that is that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Whether that has to do with religion or listening to this senile old man, entirely up to you to decide. But who knows, they might still end up winning an election even though their best friends forever once said that they will will not get bitten by the same snake twice. Super wonderful. I'm sure that they will have their religion, jati diri, roh, or whatever. But as far as I know, and as I've said before, even if these people end up winning an election, I don't think it's gonna do very much, except destroy Malaysia as a country. I don't know anybody who would actually want to live in this country if it had to deal with all of these religious gaslighters day in and day out. It might be slightly better if they weren't going around accusing people of being more corrupt than them, ignoring every single instance where they were accountable, screaming constantly about how everybody needs to kembali kepada penyelesaian agama, where they have no evidence to suggest that anybody actually has an interest in any of that except to win elections, not because they actually believe in any of that. It's because they think that people are stupid. But to be fair, there are a lot of stupid people in this country, and if, like the men of Odysseus who ate the cattle of the sun god, they just keep on and choose all of this right here, you can't stop them. But if you think about it, it's like perfect. If people fail, then you tell them that, oh, it's because you cannot live up to the true standards of God, and then they fail again, and then you keep telling them that it's because they don't live up to the standards of God, and when the country goes bankrupt and everybody leaves because you are successfully ruling over hell, while saying that you're the best in the world, you can keep ruling forever. Tell yourselves that you have such a wonderful legacy. This is a wonderful example of a wonderful race building something for itself, even though nobody actually cares about race except these insecure buggers obsessed with it, protecting religion in every single way, but not even protecting against poverty and drugs, because religious leaders are too stupid to handle any of this stuff. Because it's so much easier to just say, oh, ini semua bala, pergilah bertaubat, and then pretend to be more religious, collect MP salary, terima sedekah, and then repeat the cycle over and over again. You know, it's funny to think about this because, like, if you were God and you saw these people engaging in their pathetic, self-pitying, self-favoring activities, smelling their own fart, saying that they are the best people in the world, so non-corrupt, wow, they slander, lie, cheat, steal, and then pretend that none of that ever happened and that they are holy and wonderful just because they pray. Wow. If you were actually God, I wonder if you would actually like these people, because if I were, I wouldn't. I would literally just wipe them all away or watch them slowly fall into depression while they fight and argue about useless things day in, day out, never stopping, because that is their nature, their education, what they can never escape from. And honestly, at this point, seeing these people and their way of life and how they want to be celebrated but achieve nothing that is meaningful for their civilization or their history, all I can say is, if you don't like Madani either, consider migrating.
That is, if you actually care about social policies.
Because these people are not going to change, so long as this so-called precedent for life and the class act losers who are going along with them are still brainwashing them along the way to care about agama bangsa to no end. Anyway, no need to bother with this trash. If we don't end up living in Malaysia anymore and we end up meeting one day because of this conversation, well, remember to say hi. Anyway, what do you think, Sapoops? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That's all I'm saying about that, and bye.